If you're watching this or listening to this, it's probably because your ex is an avoidant, which means that most likely you are anxious. And your number one question is whether your ex will come back or not. Well, stay tuned and you'll find out what your chances are. But first, I want to welcome back my beautiful no contact army. Have you been a good little soldier or a bad little soldier? Well, if you've been good, then you've downloaded my app Silencio in order to help you to stay in no contact. And the link to that is underneath every single video and podcast. And if you too would like to join our no contact army, all you have to do is hit the subscribe button and the bell notification and you're in. And to read our manual, go to nocontactsecrets.com where you can read 2 free chapters before you purchase the book. Okay, so you want to know what the chances are that your avoidant ex will come back. Well, unfortunately, 70% of you will never hear from your avoidant ex again if they do this. What's this? I'll explain in a second. But first, let me give you some reasons why an avoidant might distance themselves from you. It could be depression or low tolerance for social contact, maybe low self-worth and fear of not being able to meet the other person's needs, a belief that the other person deserves better, avoiding emotional discomfort or conflict, or feeling overwhelmed by the other person's attachment or expectations. And I found this list interesting because, as you may or may not know, I'm an avoidant, and I don't distance myself for any of these reasons, actually. If I find that I'm getting overwhelmed by someone's attachment or expectations, I'll say something, but very briefly, just something like, hey, back off. Hey, I need my space. But otherwise, I distance myself when I see that I'm not a priority for the person that I'm dating. If I feel that I'm not that important to them, or I'm one of many, or they're not that interested, or they're losing interest, or they have lost interest. So literally the minute I feel that, the second I feel that, I immediately deactivate and pull away without any notice. And that's what this is, the pulling away without notice, ghosting. If your avoidant ghosted you, only 30% of you will ever hear from them again. Now, you can certainly reach out to them and they may respond. However, if you don't ever reach out, 70% of you will never hear from your avoidant again. So let's define ghosting in order to make it very clear what I'm talking about. Ghosting means that they just disappear from your life without any notice. They stop answering your texts, they stop reaching out, they disappear, they become a ghost. Most avoidants will ghost. Now, a few of them will do the slow fade when suddenly they're not as available to talk or to get together. And before you know it, they too are a ghost. And after an avoidant has ghosted, they do something else, which you're not going to like. And that is they minimize your importance to them. They rewrite history. And while you think that you may have shared some great times and amazing moments, in their minds, they make it unimportant. This is what allows them to stay away and move on, because if you really weren't that important, then what's there to go back to? What's there to miss from an avoidance point of view? So if you have an anxious attachment style, I know you want closure, but more often than not, you're not going to get it with an avoidant. Avoidants don't care about closure, either giving it or getting it. So I would suggest you read the book Anxiously Attached by Jessica Baum in order to help you with your anxiety and hopefully be able to move to a more secure attachment style. And I'll put the link underneath the video and the podcast. So I'm sorry, I know that a lot of you are upset at hearing these statistics, but as I always say, the truth will set you free, but first it will piss you off, and sometimes it will make you cry. So I don't want to leave you sad, and therefore I have two short success story comments to uplift you. And the first one says, just to let you know, my avoidant girlfriend and I broke up on November 30th. On March 16th, 105 days later, she made contact. I didn't want to get back with her, but the point is this. It shows no contact will work, even with a staunch avoidant. And then the second comment is, I had a relationship with a guy and we were struggling over a couple of issues. He finally got mad and told me to go away. Go away, which I did with sadness. I didn't pursue him or wait for him. A couple of years later, I was 1 month away from getting married. He walked into my work at lunch to tell me I was right. It took him 2 years to figure out she was right, and that he wanted to reconcile. He was a good guy, but unfortunately it was too late. Would I sit around waiting for years for someone? No. But my point is that there really is no deadline for someone to return to you. She's right. Okay, so hopefully that was helpful for you, that uplifted you a bit. So now I want to hear from you. How long have you been in no contact and how is it going? And in the meantime, if you'd like my help to get your ex back, especially if they're an avoidant like me, you can contact me at theartoflove.net and we will send you the rates. They are not on the website, and the direct link is below every single video and podcast. If you found this video helpful, please like, subscribe, and share. If you're listening to this as a podcast, please rate and review. And finally, remember, love inspires, empowers, uplifts, and enlightens.